Hello friends, today I will be telling you about 10 most confusing paradoxes. Let's get straight into the video. If you wonder what is a paradox, here is the solution. A paradox is a logically self-contradictory statement or a statement that runs contrary to one's expectation. It is a statement that, despite apparently valid reasoning from true premises, leads to a seemingly self-contradictory or illogically unacceptable conclusion. In simple terms, paradox is a situation which makes sense but logically cannot be solved. So what are the top 10 most confusing paradoxes? Number 1. The Achilles and Tortoise paradox. The paradox of Achilles and the tortoise is one of a number of theoretical discussions of movement put forward by the Greek philosopher Zeno of Elea in the 5th century BC. It begins with the great hero Achilles challenging a tortoise to a foot race. To keep things fair, he agrees to give the tortoise a head start of, say, 500 m. When the race begins, Achilles unsurprisingly starts running at a speed much faster than the tortoise, so that by the time he has reached the 500 m mark, the tortoise has only walked 50 m further than him. But by the time Achilles has reached the 550 meters mark, the tortoise has walked another 5 meters, and by the time he has reached the 555 meters mark, the tortoise has walked another 0.5 meters, then 0.25 meters, then 0.125 meters, and so on. This process continues again and again over an infinite series of smaller and smaller distances, with the tortoise always moving forwards while Achilles always plays catch up. Logically, this seems to prove that Achilles can never overtake the tortoise. Whenever he reaches somewhere the tortoise has been, he will always have some distance still left to go, no matter how small it might be. Number 2. Bootstrap paradox. Let me simplify it for you by giving an example. Imagine you have studied Theory of Relativity by Albert Einstein. You go back in time and kill Albert Einstein when he was 3 years old. If Einstein did not live longer enough to publish the theory of relativity, then how come you came to know about him and go in the past to kill him? If you had killed Einstein when he was 3 years old, how did he publish theory of relativity in the first place? Number 3. The boy or girl paradox. Imagine a family has 2 kids, one of the kids is a boy, the second kid must be a boy or a girl, meaning the chances of being a boy is 1 by 2, however, there are actually 4 possible combinations of children: 2 boys, 2 girls, an older boy and a younger girl, and an older girl and a younger boy, As we know that one kid is a boy, we can discard the girl possibility, which leaves us with 3 possibilities, meaning the chances of second kid being a boy is 1 by 3, not 1 by 2. Number 4. The card paradox. Imagine you have a card. On one side of the card, side A, it says, the statement written on the other side, is true, while on the other side, side B, it says that the statement written on the other side is false. If side A is true, the side B must be true as well, but for side B to be true, side A needs to be false. If side A is false, then side B must be false, which ultimately leads to a paradox. Number 5. Crocodile paradox. A crocodile snatches a young boy from a riverbank. His mother pleads with the crocodile to return him, to which the crocodile replies that he will only return the boy safely if the mother can guess correctly whether or not he will indeed return the boy. There is no problem if the mother guesses that the crocodile will return him. If she is right, he is returned; if she is wrong, the crocodile keeps him. If she answers that the crocodile will not return him, however, we end up with a paradox. If she is right and the crocodile never intended to return her child, then the crocodile has to return him, but in doing so breaks his word and contradicts the mother's answer. On the other hand, if she is wrong and the crocodile actually did intend to return the boy, the crocodile must then keep him even though he intended not to, thereby also breaking his word. Number 6. The dichotomy paradox. To do a task we need to divide the task into simpler forms. For e.g., if we want to walk 1 by 2 of a street, we need to walk 1 by 4 of the street, as this can go on forever, the distance cannot be traveled. This is known as dichotomy paradox. Number 7. The potato paradox. Imagine if a farmer had 100 pounds of potatoes. The potatoes comprise of 99% water and 1% of solids, which is equal to 1:99. He leaves the potatoes in sun for a day. The potatoes now comprise of 98% water and 2% solids, which is 2:98, which when reduced gives 1:49, even though the solids must still only weigh 1 pound. The water, ultimately, must now weigh 49 pounds. Giving a total weight of 50 pounds despite just a 1% reduction in water content. This paradox is logical but gives an absurd conclusion. Number 8. The raven paradox. This paradox states that a raven is black, b. anything which is not black is not a raven, c. a green apple is not a raven. It is considered a paradox because the side of the apple tells us that a raven is black. It is equivalent of saying that if you live in New Delhi, it is the proof that you don't live in Mumbai. Number 9. Pinocchio paradox. This paradox states that if Pinocchio said my nose will grow and if his nose actually grew, then it means that he is speaking truth, but Pinocchio's nose only grows when he spoke a lie, meaning that the statement my nose will grow now is neither true nor false. Number 10. Grandfather's paradox. This paradox states that if you manage to go back in time and kill your grandfather when he was small, if the grandfather died when he was young, then your father should not have been born, and when your father is not born, you must not be born. But then if you were not born, then how did you go in time to